Hi all, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm baking an 80% hydration sourdough loaf. Woohoo! Loads of water. A wet dough like this can be intimidating, so here's a video on how I try to handle the sticky mess and bake it into an acceptable result. Before we start, we have to weigh out some stuff. I strongly advise you to work with a digital scale. By using cups and teaspoons, you will easily under or overshoot the ingredients. This will result in disappointment. This all being said, let's crack on. We start off with 360 grams of strong white flour, followed by 240 whole wheat. Then we add 404 grams of water. Now it's time to get our hands dirty. What we want to do here is help the water getting into the flour by massaging it, just for a couple of minutes, till everything sticks together into a shaggy mess that looks like this. Cover and set a 60-minute timer. During this time, the flour will absorb the water slowly. It's called autolyse. Autolyse is our friend. She makes sure the water penetrates the flour. It takes a while, but it saves us kneading time and it helps the flavor. Thanks, Miss Autolyse. After an hour, it's time to gear up this party by adding 200 grams of Peking starter. By the way, this is Susie. Yeah, I name my starter. Let's start working the starter in by first pinching it, followed by putting your fist down and then folding the dough over itself. Once the dough gets hard to work, remove it from the bowl. Put it on a clean, non-dusted work surface. You can clean the bowl by using a dough scraper. Trying the slap and fold technique. It's not working really well, so I move over to rotating the stickiness under my hand to incorporate the starter. When it all starts forming a ball, then go back to the slap and fold technique. Total mixing time is about 4 minutes for now. Place it back in the bowl and cover for 30 minutes. Just before the alarm goes off, I weigh out 15 grams of coarse sea salt. Remember the mortar and pestle you once got for Christmas? Time to get it out and grind up the salt. 30 minutes are passed, so we can add it to the bowl. Incorporating the salt works best by adding a bit of water. I go totally crazy here and add 66 grams. Way too much, but I just want to know if I can get away with it. Let's see if it incorporates by folding the dough over itself. This might take a while. Took me a couple of minutes, but it worked out. Now, let's do some good old French folding, or slap and fold as we all know it. If you'd like to know more about dough kneading techniques, feel free to leave a comment below. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notified when a new video is available. After working it for a couple of minutes, you can feel the dough is developing well. Now move it over to the bowl and cover for 30 minutes. The dough has been resting and is a lot more relaxed. With a wet hand, I get it loose from the bowl. Flip it upside down on a slightly wet working surface. Now I fold it over itself a few times. And round it up. Back to the bowl for 30 minutes. Now I'm gonna try something I've seen other people do online and I love to give it a shot. First, wet the work surface, not soaking wet. Remember, we're working with wet hands. Now get the dough out of the bowl and flip it upside down. Now we're gonna stretch the dough, like a big pizza pie. Pizza. My surface is a bit too wet, but all will be fine. I'm lifting it up and stretching it out by using my fists. I put it down again and stretch it out some more. By the way, I've seen this technique in a video by Foolproof Baking. I leave a video link in the comment section below. If you're on Facebook, go check out the group Sourdough Bread Baking. Great tips there. And also a link below. Once I've got a nice square shape, I start folding it up. And back into the bowl. Let it rest for 30 minutes and then we're gonna do a few stretch and folds. You could skip these steps, but I like to build up some extra strength. Remember, we've got a really wet dough here. This is the first stretch and fold. Between the folds, let rest for 30 minutes. And a second time. And a third time. And a final fourth time. After the stretch and folds, I leave it sitting about 45 minutes at room temperature. And now it's time for shaping. The first shaping is a rough one. I do it on a wet surface. After the rough shaping, I leave it sitting for about 20 minutes under a damp cloth. Before I do the final shaping, I make sure the baneton is well dusted with flour. I'm using the white strong flour here, and loads of it. Then I sprinkle some flour on top of the dough and flip it over. I fold all the sides into each other. Then I clean the workbench with my bench scraper, and with my hands I build some tension in the dough. Put the dough ball in the baneton, and now it's time to let this puppy rest, or rather bulk ferment in the fridge. Before moving it over to the fridge, I take some cling film. I put some olive oil on there, spread it with kitchen towel. This will prevent that the dough sticks to the cling film. Now we can move over to the next step, bulk fermenting in the fridge. I do this for 12 to 16 hours. You can do it even longer. The next day we're getting it out of the fridge. Here I'm trying to show you the rise. It does rise in the fridge, don't worry. Now I take some parchment paper and flip the whole thing over. I leave the head on for now. I have preheated this Dutch oven for about an hour in a hot oven. A hot oven is about 250 degrees Celsius. That's about 480 Fahrenheit. Now you can take the head off and move the whole thing over to the Dutch oven. Be careful, do not burn yourself. Now it's scoring time. We do this so we have a controlled rise during the bake. Put the lid on and whack it into the oven. We're gonna bake this for 25 minutes with the lid on. After 25 minutes, take the lid off. We bake first with the lid on so the bread can steam and you'll get a nice oven spring. Now we're gonna bake for another 25 minutes without the lid. The next 25 minutes are passed and I'll remove the bread from the Dutch oven. I will bake it for an additional 10 minutes. I do this because if I leave it in my Dutch oven, the bottom of my bread will be black, and who likes that? Okay, time is up and we got the bread out of the oven without burning ourselves. Do not start slicing into it yet. Wait at least 2 hours. Believe it or not, it will only get better. Okay, the long waiting is over. We can finally cut into it and give it a taste. If you bake this bread, do me a huge favor. Take a picture, whack it on the internet and use the hashtag #GuitarMakersFood. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you the next time. Till then, enjoy life and peace out.